Hello, it's your Blu-ray baller on a budget, Hayes Q Jones, and this is HQ Videos for you. And picking up on the third edition of my horror Halloween Blu-ray collection, starting back with Hansel and Gretel. For some reason, movies in Hollywood comes out in bunches. If there's apocalyptic pictures, a bunch of apocalyptic pictures comes out, vampires, submarine pictures. For a few years ago, it was a big thing with Hansel and Gretel. There was Hansel and Gretel 3D, Hansel and Gretel Get High, and a few other Hansel and Gretel movies. This is Asylum, so you can guarantee this is like extra cheesy and extra low budget. Don't remember if I've seen this or not though, but again, it's Asylum, so I'm sure it's a fun watch. Hansel and Gretel. We have The Haunting in Connecticut 2, a sequel to the first, even though I don't believe I believe it's a different family. I have the first one in a triple pack Blu-ray. Still a decent watch. A Haunting in Connecticut 2. And we have one of my favorite horror Clive Barker series, the Hellraiser series. Hellraiser 2 with Pinhead. And you have the other four Hellraisers. And I'm sure I'm missing at least two other Hellraisers. And we have the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. Pretty much people go into these remote area and find people they're not supposed to find. And this is the slip cover. It's actually a double feature. The back side. And The Hills Have Eyes 2, which is a little bit different. I believe this is a military base that runs across some people they're not supposed to run across. The Hills Have Eyes 2. We have an Anchor Bay release, Horns, with Harry Potter's Daniel Radcliffe. I haven't seen this. About a kid who has horns growing out of his head. Someone I personally wouldn't be cool with though, but that's just me. Next we have 80s cheesy horror, The House, Arrow release, and I have the whole series. Again, just haunted house, 80s, very cheesy, over the top horror. On the borderline, almost comedy. And that's the flip side to it. And so insert. We have The House 2, The Second Story. I love that title. The flip side to the art. House 3, The Horror Show. And the flip side to the art. And we have House 4, The Repossession. Great titles to the series. And the backside. House at the End of the Street, Jennifer Lawrence. This is the cover art. The backside. If I remember correctly, it's one of those revenge type pictures. And this is also a remake. House at the End of the Street. We have Howl, werewolf picture. We have I Know What You Did Last Summer, one of those group movies where they do some unspeakable act and promise not to tell anyone. And years later, evidence of that unspeakable act somehow comes up mysteriously. And this is a sequel. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr. This sequel has Brandy and Mekhi Phifer. And this is the Backside of the cover art. One of my favorite John Carpenter movies with Sam Neill, In the Mouth of Madness. Basically, Sam Neill is tasked with finding a missing writer, a writer equivalent to Stephen King, and that's where this story begins somewhat. In the Mouth of Madness. Great picture. Incarnate. I picked this up at Big Lots. Haven't seen this yet though. Incarnate. It's a slip cover. And the back side. And we have the Insidious series. I actually like these. The first one was the best, probably the scariest. The rest, not so much. I'm not gonna say the first one was that scary. It's more creepy than actually scary. And we have Insidious, the backside of Insidious 2. And Insidious, The Last Key. Next we have Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt's Interview with a Vampire. I'm not gonna say I love this. It was just okay for me. Could think of a lot of other better vampire pictures than this. Bram Stoker's Dracula, Blade, Near Dark. This is just okay for me, but I guess this had Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise on wigs. I guess that was a big deal. But Interview with a Vampire. The Invisible. Interesting premise. I won't go into too much detail, but interesting. Definitely worth the watch. It's the back side. And we have It. I'm still waiting to see the sequel, the actual remake of It. And It Follows. Don't know what the big hype was about this. It really wasn't that scary to me. It was a fun watch, but just really wasn't that scary. It Follows. Jacob's Ladder with Tim Robbins and Elizabeth Pena. This is interesting movie. I'd actually consider this more of a psychological thriller than a horror movie. Jacob's Ladder. Joyride 3. Basically, it's one of those crazy truck driver, follow you to the end of the earth type of movie. I have Joyride 1 and 2 on DVD, but not on Blu-ray, so hopefully I can find 1 and 2 at a reasonable price. I believe I purchased this from Hamilton Bookstore, ordered it, haven't watched it yet. Killer Movie. Krampus. I think I saw this. I'm pretty sure I saw this. Pretty cool movie. Coming up on the holidays, great Christmas horror movie, Krampus. This is, I believe, from the 70s. Lair of the White Worm. Very unusual type of horror picture. I haven't watched this in years, so I'm looking forward to watching this again. Lair of the White Worm. And that's the slip cover. And the back of it. We have The Last House on the Left. Again, one of those revenge type movies. The Last Witch Hunt with Vin Diesel. It's more of an action picture than actual horror, though. I just kind of put it in there, though. Definitely worth the watch. Again, more of an action horror movie than horror. The Lazarus Effect. Excellent movie. I believe Donald Glover had a part in this. Olivia Wilde. So, very interesting horror picture. The Lazarus Lazarus Effect. And for those chainsaw slasher fans, you have the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. We have Legion. This is more kind of Divinity Angel kind of horror movie. I'd kind of put it in that category of Prophecy. If you've ever seen Christopher Walken's Prophecy. Legion. And this is the flip side. And we have the complete movie collection of Leprechaun. Honestly, I haven't watched all of these. I've seen bits and parts. Just one of those kind of goofy horror movies that you have to be in a mood to. It started out, I believe, in the 80s with Jennifer Aniston. I believe there's one with Ice Cube in there where they're, Ice-T, where they go to space. So looking forward to maybe doing a zone out movie marathon with Leprechaun. And great vampire flick. Let Me In. This is actually a remake of Let the Right One In, which I believe is a Dutch film. I'm not exactly if it's Dutch or not. This is a foreign film with English dubbed in. I like both of them. But I'm going to end right here on Let the Right One In. If you like what you see, leave a comment if you've seen any of these movies. If you haven't, leave something in the comment section. If you know anyone that likes horror movies like this, go ahead and share this. If you haven't hit subscribe, hit subscribe. If nothing else, hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Other than that, you guys have a great day. Peace.